Alright, so hello again everybody. This is Jovan Lachey, and as promised, I'm here to talk about R&B Divas LA, the episode called Lights, Camera, Diva. The first episode aired on July 10th, 2013. As we all know, the show chronicles the lives of R&B singers Kelly Price, Chanté Moore, Michel'le, Lil Mo, Dawn Robinson, and Claudette Ortiz. So let me just say this show is a high quality production, much higher than the debut season of R&B Divas Atlanta. I think that TV One has done a great job at putting this particular cast of women together. This is a pretty diverse cast. They're diverse in personalities, industry success, age, and in their current relevance. So off the bat, Kelly Price is the unofficial leader of the group. Everyone deferred to her vision from the very beginning, so she's kind of setting the tone for the show and the projects that they're going to be working on. Chanté even stated that Kelly is well respected and that she has no problem with following Kelly's lead. I'm curious though to see how long that will last. I say that because I'm keeping my eye on Kelly. I feel that Kelly, if she's not happy, that the other ladies on the show, they won't be happy. So we got to kind of keep our eyes out for that and get ready to watch some good TV. The episode opened with Kelly inviting Chanté over to her house to speak about a project that she is working on. The project happens to be an open mic for established and aspiring R&B singers. So Chanté is there, and Kelly feels like that the R&B genre has kind of lost its respect and that it enjoyed in years past, and I actually agree 100% with her on that. Kelly explains the concept to Chanté and that she would like to bring a few other established singers on board to support her open mic. Those other singers would be Dawn, Lil Mo, and Michel'le. So Kelly asked Chanté to shake on the deal, and instead of shaking Chanté's hand, Kelly does like this little shimmy shake with her chest. I mean, I don't know if y'all know this, but her breasts did get kind of out of place on there. They went from one side to the other, and I found that to be real funny. So then it cuts to Dawn Robinson, and she introduced herself. She's talking about her career in Vogue with her manager and how she's transitioning from a group to currently being a solo act and how she's going to take that to the next level. She also reveals that the main reason for her departure from En Vogue was the fact that they were not paid. And that's just the story of so many singers, R&B singers and rappers in particular. She says that they did get paid, but not like everyone else around them. She says, who wants to come home to a check with a big old zero on it? So then it cuts to Lil Mo, and she's talking about the new direction of her career with her husband, who also happens to be her manager, and his name is Philip. She says Beyonce is at the top and that she's trying to get there, but she just doesn't have a team, so she's going to have to grab her career by the horn again and make it work. Now, Lil Mo also makes it clear that she is not from the 90s, and she starts to name check some of her hits from the early 2000s and declaring herself as the godmother of hip-hop and R&B. Now that declaration does hold some truth to it. If you really do and you sit back and you think about it, in regards to hip-hop and R&B collaborations, Lil Mo practically created the formula that is still being followed today in 2013. So you got to give the godmother her props. You know, I also think that that was the point Lil Mo really needed to make, because a lot of the younger viewers who will be tuning in, they could easily confuse her and mix her up with the 1990 stars. So Lil Mo, she goes on to say that she wasn't ready for the industry at the height of her success in the early 2000s, but now that she's ready to take her career to the next level, and she's doing that by moving to Los Angeles. Now Lil Mo, her personality is huge, it's infectious, and you can tell that she has love for the kids. She uses all of the vernacular and everything. Definitely think that she'll be a breakout star from the cast. So now it goes to Michel'le. She introduces herself, and she's telling her friends at a table about a date that she had, and she told him that she had children by both Dr. Dre and Suge Knight. And in her voice, you know, that squeaky voice that she has, she says the guy never called her back. So now that it cuts to her confessional, and Michel'le said that you don't have to be in love with somebody to make a baby, that it's called sex. I mean, I guess that's true. So I don't know if she was saying that she was never in love with Dre or with Suge, but I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about that over the course of this season here. Now on Twitter, something that was shocking to me, people was confused by her high-pitched speaking voice, and to me it was clear who knew Michel'le before R&B Divas LA, so it's kind of a generation gap there. But regardless of some of the comments, I think that her speaking voice is going to actually endear her to the viewers and help her carve out a niche for herself. She's going to be kind of separate from all the other divas there. Also, all the criticism was hushed up when she took to that mic and she started singing her signature song, but we're going to talk a little bit more about that a little later on in this spill right here. Now, is it me, or do all reality shows where the female cast always meet up someplace for lunch? That's exactly what happened next. So Kelly, she meets everyone to talk about her open mic idea. Dawn is a little shocked because she would, like to perform with some rehearsal time. She says she used to a large regimen of time and practice for months and months so that she can give a good show. And I do get that. I get that she wanted to be perfection and she wanted to give a good show. But to me, a great singer can sing at any given moment. I mean, you just think about the gospel singers, think about church singers. They hand them the mic at any time and they just go with it and they take you on. So all the ladies agreed to participate in the open mic, and they cut back to Dawn again. Now this time Dawn is in the studio, and I gotta admit, her voice is still on point. I actually think that it's better than it was years ago. But this scene was so obviously staged because enter Claudette Ortiz, who happens to be in the studio strumming her guitar, singing with the studio door wide open. Who does that? So then she stops and she grabs her purse and then she goes over to Dawn, which was real awkward the way they hugged each other. Then Claudette, she gets the opportunity to introduce herself and then she runs down her time with City High. Now just like Lil Mo, Claudette says that she wasn't ready for the industry at the height of her career either. So let this be a cautionary tale to all the young people out there who are eager to get into the industry. You gotta know that it's not for everyone. So then after that, Dawn, she goes and she invites Claudette to Kelly's open mic, and that officially rounds out the cast there. So Claudette, who is new to LA, is a little apprehensive about doing an open mic because she hasn't performed in over 2 years, but she does accept the invite to go to the open mic. So it seems like Dawn and Claudette, they're going to be good friends here on the show. But again, with these reality shows, you never know how these relationships are going to play out over the course of a season. Okay, so Michel'le and Dawn, they meet up with a choreographer named Tony to get some steps together for the open mic. Again, I was totally threw off by this because you do not need a choreographer for an open mic. Open mics are there to showcase your raw talent. So after Dawn and Michel'le finish their dance session with the choreographer, the topic turns to children. Michel'le asks Dawn how did she escape not having children, and Dawn answers that it wasn't an escape, alluding to some type of issues that she may be having. So Chanté and Lil Mo, they get together, they go shopping, but I do gotta say that that run that Chanté did at the beginning, transitioning to that scene, oh, it gave me everything that I was looking for. So they get out of the car, they joke around and there's no paparazzi around them, and they're like, damn, ain't nobody looking at us. But I think that's going to change very soon for them. Again, Lil Mo, she is such a character. And her confessional, again, she's talking about she's snatched and she's poor, she's this, she's that, using all of the vernacular from the kids and everything. And her body is on point too, so shouldn't be too hard for Lil Mo to find anything to wear. I mean, her shape was like, damn, like I didn't know Lil Mo had it like that. So the topic in the story moves on to the men in their life, and Chanté reveals that she no longer has a man. Her marriage to fellow R&B singer Kenny Lattimore is officially over. Again, Lil Mo, she say, Mama is nosy, so I need to know what if they said about you is true. So Chanté tells her, yeah, I'm open to dating, but she's not looking for a commitment right now. She's just looking to get out and meet a nice guy. So she said that she was married to Kenny for over 10 years and that she's still just a little bit angry about how the relationship went down, and hopes that she can work through her anger issues against Kenny. Now, I'm not doing the gossip, but I would love to know the real deal on why she, has those anger issues against him. Guess we can talk about that at another time. So Lil Mo tells Chanté that she's been married twice. Chanté says, well, I'm not counting anymore. Chanté actually been married 3 times, but I don't think they really talked about that. She was previously married to Kadeem Hardison, who played Dwayne Wayne on A Different World. Now, Chanté says that she is happier now than she's been in quite a long time. So Claudette and Dawn, they continue their budding friendship. So now they're meeting up for the ever-present lunch. So Claudette does what I would have did had I met someone like Dawn. So she asks Dawn, how did you get your start in the industry? So Dawn goes on to tell her story, how she got her start in the industry. And Claudette, she feels like that her and Dawn can be really good friends. I just don't know. Those scenes between those two, they seem so staged, they seem forced. I don't know if it's because they both are new to reality TV, but I hope that does change over the season, because that will become something that I will gripe about. The scene did finally get real when Dawn asked Claudette what happened with City High. You could see the anxiety all over Claudette when she said, I hate reliving this story. Claudette, she gets raw and she tells about her relationship with the group member Robbie and how he was an abusive alcoholic. Then she goes on to say that while they were on tour, she was going through the abuse, and the other group member, Ryan, was there for her, and that they eventually got married and that they had children. But now they are divorced, and they were married for 11 years. Now, I do remember people going all the way in on Claudette back in the day for her relationship with both of those group members. But none of us, we really don't know the ins and outs of her personal life, but it does make for some good, juicy talk, though. So now we're going to flash forward to the part of last night's episode that I liked the most, and I'm quite sure all of you did, the singing. The ladies, they get together at the Savoy in Los Angeles, where Kelly is hosting her open mic. Michel'le, she is so happy to be there, and she just says, please don't let Kelly go on before me. I think she said that because everybody knows that when Kelly Price touches the mic, there's not too much more that can be done after that. She just totally blows stages and microphones all the way up. So Chanté, she walks in by herself, and she's looking like, damn, 46 years old ain't never looked that good. Then Dawn and Claudette, they come in together. Of course, they the new friends on the show. Then Kelly and Lil Mo, they come in together. So all the ladies, they all do look great. And again, I gotta say that the production quality and value of R&B Divas LA is on par with any other reality show that's on TV right now. The production value is so important because it doesn't look like it was filmed on a budget, and that actually will keep the viewer's attention. Kelly Price, so she goes in, she kicks off the performances with Ain't Nobody by Shaka Khan, and as expected, she tore the stage up. And I gotta say this about Kelly also, her vocals and her vocal technique is unmatched. I can remember studying her phrasing and her breathing on her Soul of a Woman album, and I was just taking internal notes on how things are to be done properly, especially for a type of power singer like her. So no reality TV would be complete without, a little bit of shade being thrown. But to me, the shade came when Kelly was introducing Claudette and couldn't remember quite who she was. Kelly wasn't the only one. Chanté acted like she didn't know who she was either. So Claudette, she hits the stage. And then when she hits the stage and she starts singing Caramel, the audience just goes off. They remembered the song. So then when she started singing, Chanté said, yeah, I do remember her. That's City High. Then Kelly said, yeah, I remember her too. And then Kelly goes on and sang a little line of Caramel. People, they never ever forget good music, no matter who it came from. So then Kelly, she goes on and she takes Claudette to meet the other divas, and they all showing her love at the table. Like, oh yeah, you tore it up, you did this, you look good, all of that good stuff. So Kelly, she gives Claudette the approval and wants her to become a diva as well, and she gives a shout out to Dawn for bringing her on. Now, each one of these shows need a central project that they all can, gather around. And on R&B Divas LA, that project is going to be held by guess who? Kelly Price. Of course, Kelly Price. No, at the table, she asks all the ladies to say yes to this big old secret, the secret project that she's working on, and to trust her that she won't lead them the wrong way. Michel'le immediately says yes, and she's like, oh, I love Kelly. And Chanté says, when Kelly asks you to do something, you say yes because she's respected and that she respects her. So now the performances, they continue on from this point. Chanté gets up and she sings her classic, It's Alright. So now Chanté, oh my God, she straight blazed it. I mean, she put new riffs and runs on her classic, and she showed off that still intact, still working whistle register, skipping all over the place. I mean, Kelly even had to point out the fact that people don't give Chanté the props that she deserves, and people only think that Mariah Carey has that whistle register. But Chanté, she still has her, and it's still working, okay? It's still working. Chanté slayed the audience. People, you know, they was raising their hands like they was in church. They was just in awe of her beautiful, beautiful instrument. You know, and she showed and improved, point blank, period. So Dawn, she gets up next and she sings Giving Him Something He Can Feel. Dawn's singing voice has never been in question because she always delivers. She's never given a bad vocal, never heard it. Don't think we ever will hear it. And I think her voice has actually gotten better over the years. So now Michel'le, she comes up to the stage and she sings the R&B standard, Something in My Heart. You know, like I said earlier, when she sings, it's night and day from her speaking voice. You know, it's kind of hard to believe that it's the same person that was just speaking in this real squeaky voice. But nonetheless, she too gets up and she slays the audience, taking them all the way up. So Kelly again, she goes and she makes a good point, and she says that Michel'le is part of hip-hop history. And I think people tend to forget that she was the female voice on those hard hip-hop hits long before others did it. You know, and I think TV One should take it a step further with Michel'le, and they should actually do an unsung episode on her and dig a little more. No, then Lil Mo, it's her time to come up to the stage, so she takes it home. She sings her hit Forever, and she gets very, very much hip-hop. I mean, she gave all of that, but she is still, you know, a straight up and down singer. Then Lil Mo takes us to church singing I Love to Praise Him. She was squalling all over the place just like she was the Clark sister, you know. But Lil Mo is one of those underrated vocalists. You know, we also forget that she's not to be played with and that she has that good vocals as well. You know, overall this episode did a great job at reintroducing these talented vocalists to a new generation. You know, I feel like these ladies will take their opportunity and they're actually going to expand their brands further than where they currently are. So now you can join me back here next week for my review of episode 2 entitled Diva Log. So again, remember to follow me on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Tumblr at Jovan Lachey, Jovonlachey. Until the next time, everybody, I'm Jovan Lachey. See you back here next week. Thank you.